Hey folks, it's Greg and Janet with Strange RV Tours, and we'd like to welcome you to another episode of Historic Goldfield Nevada Properties.
Yep.
Let's get started.
Strange RV Tours will take you places with Greg and Janet's smiling faces. You might see a crazy flavored soda review or some tips to fit your RV too. So come along, won't you join us, friend, as we discover what's around the bend. Just sit right back in your easy chair. Strange RV Tours is on the air. Strange RV Tours is on the air.
We're on the corner of Elliott and Columbia in Goldfield, Nevada. And this home right here in front of us, I'll show you their historic marker here on their, you see it right there on their side of the house right there. This is the M.L. Holt Home. It was built in 1904 as a residence, and it was the original meeting place for the Montezuma Club. The Montezuma Club is a group or a club of wealthy businessmen, kind of like the Elks Lodge or, you know, lodge. But these men were the high rollers of Goldfield. These guys were the guys that operated the mines, the banks, and they were very, very influential people. And one of the major victories for the Montezuma Club, I guess, from what I hear, is that they were able to break the Union when the Union went on strike here in Goldfield. Okay folks, we got a real treat for you on this one, and Janet will give us more details on it here. This property in front of us right here, this old partial building, was a bank vault, and it was originally part of
The Nye Orbsby County Bank, built in 1907 by Senator George Nixon and Frank Golden, and it cost them about $100,000, and it was all stone, and it was a two-story. And they shut down during the 1907 panic for a little bit. Then they reopened in 1908 and only stayed open till the end of November in 1908 and closed again. February in 1909 they closed. And then it was pretty much demolished in the 1923 fire, and this is what is left. The vault survived the fire, but that's all that's left.
Yep. And first we'll show you back over here. This looks like part of the original stone foundation for the bank.
Isn't that cool?
That is neat. That is really
like
cool.
A hallway.
And yeah, this would be a hallway entering in underneath the bank and the vault. And see if we can't look in this door. That vault door is gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
The surround for it. But yeah, this was the entrance to the bank vault.
See if we can look. Want to try?
What's up to you?
No, I better not pose. I feel bad. That's pretty cool.
This was the original bank vault. Isn't that cool? It almost looks like a tomb.
Yeah.
See if we can't see inside of it over here.
Oh, cool. Look at that. Wow. Let's see. He said it's fine for us to go and look.
Yeah, the owner graciously is allowing us to look at where the bank vault and the bank was.
Look how thick they were.
Wow. Yeah, those walls are almost 2 feet thick of solid rock.
Look at that. And like this tree fell over on top of this roof over here.
Yeah.
Wow. That's so cool.
Isn't that neat though? Yeah, I think I can see the old timbers. Is that timbers or steel?
Looks like wood to me. Is it?
I don't know. Yeah, it's some type of wood. Some type of wood. That's cool. Neat. Very neat. But this is all that remains of the bank. We're standing at the corner of Main and Crook Street. And this area of Goldfield was known as the Four Corners. And the reason it was known as the Four Corners was right here in front of us, on this corner, was a small saloon called the Bank. Right here on this corner was a massive saloon, the Northern Club, owned by Tex Rickard, who had a gambling operation inside that Wyatt Earp ran at one time. And then on this corner right here was the Palace, which was another saloon here in Goldfield.
It was 2 stories, and it was built in 1905.
Okay, 2 stories, built in 1905.
And this house was built in 1930.
Okay.
This whole corner was demolished in 1923 during the fire. So then
Directly across from this one, this property here, which is now a business that loans, leases, and sells movie props, was the Mohawk Club. And it was an old-time saloon back in the day too. So this corner had 4 saloons on it. There was a total, I believe, of 49 saloons in town at one time.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
But this place right here across the street is really cool. The entire building is covered in street signs, and the owners of this building also own this one now. And behind this building is the bank vault that we just showed you guys. So anyhow, a very, very neat place. Okay folks, we're standing on 4th Street, or what used to be 4th Street in Goldfield. Now it looks like it's kind of in the middle of a commercial salvage area. But this area is really hard to negotiate. We have a map that tells us where a lot of these historical buildings are. And on the map, this appears to be the location of the original Las Vegas and Tonopah Railroad passenger depot. And this is also right in the area where the old Goldfield Cemetery, the original burials originally were buried right in this area. And the ghoulies, they were people that came in the middle of the night and dug the bodies up and moved them to the outskirts of town to create the new cemetery. This is where the ghoulies worked late at night, digging up bodies and moving them, because the city was putting in this train station, and they didn't want passengers to get off the train station to see brand new shiny Goldfield and step right out onto a bunch of graves.
Yeah.
So this appears to be the old train depot. Now over in this area here, which we'll walk over to, there's a stone foundation, and it could have been the depot also. We're not sure, but this area over here may have also been possibly the loading area for trains, but we really don't know. But it's hard to determine, because like I said, we've got a map, but it's just got numbers showing where things were at at some time, and no real knowledge of what type building it was. So other cool thing about this area is that this was the area where the infamous boxing match took place. Now this area that we're standing in right here by the old train depot, right out in this area here somewhere, I don't know if it was on this flat land here or if it was possibly up against the embankment, but this was the site of the boxing ring and large area of bleacher seating for the 1906 World Light Heavyweight Championship match of the world, promoted by Tex Rickard and his two partners. The fight was between Gans and Nelson. The purse was $39,000. They took in almost $70,000 in ticket sales. The fight lasted 42 rounds and is still considered the longest boxing match in history. Tex Rickard, the promoter, is also famous for owning the Northern Saloon or Northern Club here in town. He was also a mine promoter, and he later went on to become the manager at Madison Square Gardens. But right in this area somewhere was where that boxing match took place. They have a historical marker for it by the courthouse in the main part of town, but this is where it actually took place, folks. Now it's some type of a commercial
junkyard.
Yeah, salvage yard, looks like.
Yeah.
So. All right, this is the Bullfrog Goldfield Railroad Company Freight Depot and Repair Yard. And it is another historical property here. Construction started on the Bullfrog Goldfield Railroad in May of 1906 at Milltown in the Goldfield Mining District and was completed southward to Beatty by April of 1907. By June of 1907, it had reached Rhyolite. The railroad stopped running in 1928, had a lifespan of 21 years. And we have done a video on this in the past, so we're going to show you it real quick, but this is an extremely cool location. This could easily be turned into one of the best museums I have ever seen. You got all kinds of railroad relics here and old vehicles. And it looks like the main structure is coming up here where they would repair train cars, do maintenance to train cars and locomotives. See lots of Model T parts here, gas tanks, doors, fenders. Just a really neat and fun area to look through. See all the bottles here. Several of the homes here in Goldfield were built out of bottles. I don't know if that's what they were saving these bottles for or what, but all kinds of sinks that came out of the Goldfield Hotel. Okay, folks, we are standing near the intersection of Lido and Euclid in Goldfield, Nevada. And during our filming time here in Goldfield, we're trying to keep the historical properties to properties that still exist, or that there's remnants of. But this one here was too cool not to film, even though the building is not here anymore. Approximately right here where I'm standing, or will be standing in a moment, was the St. Mary's County Hospital. It was built in 1905, and it is well known as the place where Virgil Earp passed away on October 19th, 1905. Virgil Earp died of pneumonia. He was the sheriff here. in Goldfield at the time. He'd only been here, I believe, about 6 months, and he contracted pneumonia and passed away here in Goldfield. And yes, Virgil Earp is infamous for being the brother of Wyatt Earp. And it looks to me like it could have, on the maps that we have, it shows that the hospital was right here, literally in this spot where I'm standing. And right here where I'm standing, there's all kinds of remnants of old bottles that are purple. Purple bottles mean that they were made before 1940. So this looks like the location. Boy, I wish there was still some of the hospital to see. Okay, we are standing near the corner of Pine Street and Grand Avenue in Goldfield. And right here in front of me, this large circular structure in the ground. And beyond that, you see another structure behind it. This was the Tonopah and Goldfield Railroad maintenance shop. It was built here in 1910. It replaced the maintenance shop that they had before in Tonopah, which had burned down on June 28, 1909. The general offices of the railroad company were also moved to Goldfield from Tonopah that same year. The foundation of the roundhouse can still be seen at Grand Avenue and Pine Street. The maintenance shop was disassembled in 1946. And see if I can't walk down here and take a look at it for you guys real here, see if we get a better view of it. Now, I don't know what the roundhouse was, but that's a big round structure in the ground. Whatever this roundhouse was, it was massive. And they would repair and do maintenance to their trains and train cars here at this property. But as you can see, this round foundation, oh goodness, I'd say it's probably 85 feet across in diameter. Big place. Have no idea what a roundhouse is, so I don't know if it was just a fancy building that they were using to help promote the area or the train yard, or if it actually had some special use. If any of you guys know, please let us know in the comments. All right, folks, well, if you ever get a chance to come out to Goldfield, Nevada, you ought to do it. We're showing you lots of historic properties here, but to be honest with you, video and pictures just does not do this town justice. You have to be here and see it. This is like a real Old West living ghost town. And the residents here love to have tourists. They could definitely use the income that tourists bring, so come on out and have a good time out here. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, the subscribe button, hit the little bell up in the corner. Please share these videos. And Miss Jan, is there anything you'd like to add?
Hey, there's so much to find. We could spend months and months and months here and still not know all of it or find all the secrets. But I love it.
Take it easy, folks. Bye-bye.